what I do is I just go into channels and I find somebody that I enjoy, because that's what matters before trying to network with somebody is, do you enjoy their content? Because ultimately, if you try to bring your community over there, or if they bring their community over to you, and something doesn't click, it's going to show. So you definitely want to make sure that whoever it is you're trying to connect with, that you agree with their content, and you get entertainment out of them somehow.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Stream Key podcast. It's a very special edition of Stream Key today because it is a charity marathon event, and we are the second slot in this 80-hour plus weekend. It's going to be crazy. This weekend is supporting Stack Up, which is a charity who supports veterans in the military with gaming experiences and some really cool stuff. We're going to get into that in a minute. But first of all, let's go around and meet the panel a little bit. And first of all, you can see I have someone in the studio with me who is PerkyDaisy. Daisy, how's it going?
Hi.
Good. You are the streamer, something with streaming at Stack Up, correct? Okay. Right, okay.
We have
Yeah, so this is just like a snapshot of that all around. Cool. Also joining online for the first time, really excited about this, is Trui, all the way from across the pond. Trui, how's it going?
I'm great. I'm glad to be on. I'm a bit nervous though. Like, this is my first podcast I ever do.
Oh, nice. Congrats. We're excited to have you because, I mean, we've meant to have you for a while. It's just tough with time zones and things. So
yeah.
Picked a good one to come on for. And last but not least is Veli. He's up in the corner this time, mixing around here. But Vel, how's it going? Oh, you're muted as always.
Hey, that was definitely on your guys' end. I am great. How are you doing today, GreenChord?
I'm doing pretty good, man, and that's definitely on your end. Moving on. So if you guys haven't seen this before, Stream Key is a show all about helping you improve your stream each week. So that is asking questions and calling in about any topics, questions you have about your stream. So that could be, you're having a trouble choosing a game to play, or maybe you've been kind of stuck in a slump with viewership. We have a topic on that we'll talk about today. And also we just go through Twitch news and things like that. Also, since this is a charity event, I will be going through donations between questions. If you guys donate, I've muted alerts for this segment, but we will read those off between. So we encourage you to donate. Really awesome cause, which I think we should take a second to get to know, since we have Daisy here in the office with us. Do you want to talk a little bit about just Stack Up overall for people who maybe haven't heard much about it before?
They're trying to figure.
Oh, really? Is your mic not working? Daisy's mic needs checking. Okay. Well, we can start off with the news then. Come back to Stack Up, which is fine. There is quite a bit of news this time. So the biggest thing, which you guys have probably seen, because it's very relationship to Twitch, Tfue has sued Faze after being trapped in a bad contract. And there's a lot going on with that. The reason I want to discuss this is because it has a lot of importance for basically esports teams and content creation management and regulation, especially in the US and probably beyond that after this. But basically, for those of you who haven't seen it, the kind of TLDR is that Tfue, I think the past week or so, he sued Faze due to contract concerns, and he also threw some other things in there, like they were pressuring him to drink and do stunts and whatever. The main thing is that he wants out of the contract. And then since then, there's been a lot of back and forth. The owner of Faze coming out and making a very emotional video talking about how he felt betrayed, and then Tfue responding, said he wants the contract released for the public to see. And the whole lawsuit was kind of framed as, these young content creators are being taken advantage of by orgs like this, and it needs to stop, so we need regulation. That is sort of like the crux of what I think we should talk about a little bit, because this isn't just related to Faze at this point. It expands to other big organizations out there on Twitch and teams, things like that. Val, did you have a chance to read through this a little bit?
Yeah, I did. And it's tough because like I was saying earlier, we don't really know, Faze's side of things. We only know obviously Tfue's side for right now. But it definitely is something that I think needs to be addressed, because I think honestly what needs to happen is all players or all esports athletes need to have like their own personal representation as far as like managers go. Just like how, or agents rather, just like how in, NFL or any professional sport, everybody has their own, agent or manager to kind of like help them out with these things. Because essentially when you first get signed to an organization, you're just a young kid who wants to play video games. You know what I mean? And you might not know all like the legalities that go into the contract or anything like that. There's a lot of things where I feel like, they could be taken advantage of without really knowing it.
Right.
So I think everybody getting their own representation in the future is what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, it's tough to say because a lot of this stuff is sort of, he said, she said type situation, especially with Tfue and Banks going back and forth. Trui, you had a bit of time to look through this too, it sounds like.
Yeah. What I have, I've seen a lot of false sponsorships, sort of scams, and they just try to give you nothing and get a lot of in return. So I think a lot of people will actually fall for these kind of contracts because I think I want a sponsor and I want to get something big, and they just fall into a trap of signing up to something for years and then nothing in return or almost nothing. And these kind of companies try to get as many people in because maybe one of them will make it and they will get a lot of money out of them. So you just need to be really careful where you sign up for. And I personally would never sign up for something that takes 3 years. Never sign up for a 3-year contract because you don't know where you're going to be in 3 years.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I've gone back and forth and looked at a lot of videos here. The big thing to me is it seems like he signed this contract at the end of the day, and there's a lot of debate as to whether it's legal and, Faze took advantage of him, and this happens a lot, but it kind of comes down to making sure you actually read your contracts and have someone look at it and review it. So I think that's definitely something, maybe at least this will make people more aware of going forward, to have someone look at it who knows what contracts are and what to look for in contracts, make sure that you know really what you're getting yourself into ahead of time. See if your mic's working now, Daisy.
Any better?
Sound better, chat? Hopefully a little bit. Not totally. I can hear you in my ear, so
okay.
I would think it would work.
Yeah, as far as contract goes, I signed a military. I went into the military at 18, so I learned very, very early on to read what I was signing. So for me, I'm not as naive when it comes to contract. Something that people need to be aware of. You're definitely reading what you sign.
Right, absolutely. I just think it's a good lesson right now for looking at everything, and we'll see what comes out of it. It'd be really interesting if they do end up making regulations, because another thing that I've seen a lot talked about is there's no really governing body for managing content creation partnerships and teams and things like that. I'm trying to remember all the details. There's some big org in the US that should be managing this stuff, and they've been alerted, and it's likely that they may kind of take some actions on teams like this in the future. So we'll see if this kind of changes how esports teams and community content teams are changed going forward. That'll be interesting to see. That's the biggest story that we have. There's a lot of smaller stuff we'll get into after that, but if you guys have questions about that, you're more than welcome to call in, give your takes, whatever you want to do. Let's go back to Daisy for a second here, now that your mic's working, and recap on Stack Up a little bit.
Okay, so Stack Up is a nonprofit charity organization that helps veterans and active duty service members, well, not even just active duty, but service members in general, in all of the NATO coalition to combat PTSD through gaming. We have local organizations, they're called our stacks, that go to VAs and do LAN parties, raise awareness for our organization in their local communities. We have our Air Assault program that sends deserving veterans to different gaming conferences like E3, PAX, TwitchCon, they've been there. GuardianCon, they're actually going to be there. E3 this year is actually the first time that they're having a actual booth at E3. So Stack Up is, the word of mouth for Stack Up is broadening, which is absolutely amazing. We also have our supply crates that send gaming devices and games overseas to soldiers downrange to help boost morale. We also have our STOP program, which primarily focuses on suicide prevention. We actually got our first CDC grant the end of last year, which that's our only federal funding that we've ever gotten. So the way the organization has ran was primarily through donations. and it's been growing. I mean, I've been a part of the stream team since August, and it has been a very eye-opening experience.
Well, that's really cool though, because it makes it even more important, the stuff we're doing this weekend across the whole community, which I'm super excited about, but also year long. I mean, there's a lot of streamers in our community. I'm sure they can get involved with this kind of stuff on their own channels.
Yep. We use Donor Drive for our individual. Like, I have my own donor drive that I have all year round. It's called Call to Arms, which is our year-round fundraising. It's just not May and November, but Stack Up as a whole focuses on those 2 months around Memorial Day and Veterans Day. But I fundraise for Stack Up all year round. It's always on my personal channel. So
and you do stream yourself too?
Yes.
Gotcha. Very cool. How long have you been streaming for?
It'll be a year next month.
Awesome. Also, we should probably quickly introduce Trui, since she's never actually been on the podcast before, I just realized. So, Trui, you want to give a quick kind of rundown of your channel and your time on Twitch?
Well, I'm Trui. I'm from the Netherlands, so English is not my native language. And that was actually one of the reasons I started streaming. I wanted to become better at speaking English, and I wanted to just be a better content creator. And I always loved things as TV and radio and stuff like that. So when I found out about Twitch, I was like, oh, this is totally for me. And I'm doing this for like 2 years now already. I have played a lot of different games, but recently I kind of took the Nintendo niche. So if you like Nintendo games, that's what we're playing right now for like a couple of months already, and I'm planning to do that for a while now. And I also do YouTube videos, and I think as a content creator, it's good to have like a second channel where you can promote your Twitch on. I have a lot of people coming from YouTube, so I would highly recommend it to anybody who is a streamer to at least make some kind of content on another channel.
Yeah.
It can be everything, but I prefer YouTube for that. And I think that's me.
Nice. No, I definitely
questions,
agree. We talk about all the time, you got to branch out to other channels too. YouTube especially is one that I think a lot of people miss out on. So really cool to see that. You do like actual streamer help stuff too on your YouTube, correct? Nice. So very similar to what we're doing here, which is cool to see. Okay, so I want to read off a quick donation. We had one from Shadow Welder, donated $25. So thank you, Shadow. Appreciate that, man. Thanks for supporting Stack Up. We're going for the goal of 2,000, maybe 5,000 this weekend. We have some giveaways and stuff that are coming. If you want to check that out, check out the donate page. It's all on there. Let's go through the next few bits of news really quickly, which there's some very small things going to Twitch that are just nice to have mostly. So, well, the first one, just kind of weird. Twitch is changing profile pictures from squares to circles, like every other social media out there has done in the past. So, I don't really have an opinion on that. I don't know if anybody feels strongly about this.
I'm against it.
Down with circles. Square master race. Moving on. The next one, which is also a really cool feature actually, is there's a new pause chat feature for moderators. So now mods will be able to pause chat for a second, if it's really flying during a giveaway or just a very large stream, and find the message with that person and take an action on that, which is really nice. Maybe like it's a giveaway winner who claimed something or someone who said something very bad. Actually, it cracked me up in the promo image for this. It was like one person said, "You are dumb," and the thing goes and bans them. So that cracked me up. But that is pretty cool to see coming to Twitch. And the last thing that I saw was the 5th affiliate emote slot is unlocked, which is very cool for all the affiliates out there. Although you have to get to like 50 subs,
50
I think.
sub points.
Yeah. It's a pretty big goal, but at least you have something to work towards with your subs now, which is cool, as opposed to just having that one forever and never getting any more. So it's nice to have like more of an in-between progression between affiliate and partner. I think that's pretty cool to see. So those are the big Twitch news for the past week. And then we have some viewer topics, which I'll mention to you guys right now. If you want to go ahead and start calling into the show or asking questions, now's a great time. I will link the StreamKey server. Really?
There it is.
Speaking. It's a separate Discord server for this show, so make sure you go in there and join the voice chat if you want to come in. We'll add you as a friend, and you can come on the show, talk about any streaming-related topic you want to talk about. And if you can't get to Discord for any reason, you can still ask your questions in Twitch chat. Just tag @TRUgaming so we see it there, and you can ask any questions you want, which we will actually go through some now to give you some examples. We had some from last week that didn't get answered. So first one, if I pull up my questions here, is from CJ Bala, who said, I'm having trouble figuring out sub perks because I really don't want to separate my audience based on money, but I do want to reward them for supporting the channel. Any ideas to fix this problem would be great. This is something we talk about a lot of the time, right? So you want to give your subs some reason to sub the channel beyond just the basics, but you also don't want to isolate people who can't afford to sub or, are still very supportive, but just can't actually sub. So I'll throw this to Trui first. What are your kind of pieces of advice for CJ Bala here?
Well, you want to have something extra because you don't want them to just pay and not have anything. I mean, the emotes itself are kind of a thing you get already, but I myself really like having a section on Discord where you can talk with only subs. Maybe you will give them some extra insights or something like that. I also do a giveaway every 14 days, 2 weeks. I give away a game that only is for subscribers, which they can then join in the Discord server where only subscribers can join. So that's what I do basically. I used to have a lot of sub perks, but I kind of figured out that if you have too many, people just get confused about the amount of sub perks. So you kind of don't want to give too many because then people just get confused about what they were getting. And you also don't really want people to feel like they have to pay to get cool stuff. So make sure like the coolest stuff that everybody that you want to share with your community is just open to everybody, and just give like a little insight or a giveaway for people that pay.
Gotcha. Yeah, so like not anything too huge that you're excluding from regular people, but still giving some cool opportunities to subs with stuff like that.
Yes.
Nice. Daisy, have you thought through, trying to reward subs with something cool that's not isolating to other viewers?
I do a separate Discord and give them more priority over games. I don't know, like everybody in my channel that's a regular is always a sub. So random people come in and they gift my regular subs. So I mean, sometimes I gift my regular subs. I haven't really. I mean, I'm still kind of a newer streamer in the sense that I've been focusing more on raising money for Stack Up and not so much my personal channel. So I haven't really went into the whole personal growth as much. So it's, I'd rather give the money to Stack Up rather than, or any charity organization rather than myself. I do gaming, and the reason why I stream is because I like social interaction, and I can stay at home and do it, and I make people smile, and that's one of the real reasons why I stream, is I just like making people happy.
Right. So,
and charity organizations or charity fundraising makes me happy. So it's kind of
no, it makes sense. That's really cool that you kind of prioritize that. That's kind of how I do with my channel too. When you're doing something for a bigger organization, it's tough to go home and do that on your own thing as well. I feel that for sure. But so Vel, throwing this to you now, what are your kind of thoughts on sub perks for subscribers versus regular non-subs?
Okay, so one thing I always say about this is that if somebody's willing to pay $5 for you, like for your channel, they probably really enjoy you as a person, not just as a content creator. So letting those people connect with you a little bit more, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I like to, like, for a while, like we all know, or you guys all know for the most part, that I used to do a Snapchat, and so any subscriber could just get into my personal Snapchat, and we had like a group where we could just, talk to each other every day. It was really cool. And it just lets them connect with you, get to know you a little bit more. Because if they do support you, that's what they're there for. They just want to get to know you a little bit more. So why not give them a little bit more of your personal life?
Right. Yeah, like a little bit more of a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. No, I think that's a cool way to do it. Just giving more stuff to people, so that way it's not like people who can't sub are missing out on too much, because they're still getting the full stream experience. That's what they're there for. People who want to just get more of that out of you can get that in other ways as a sub. So I think that's a cool idea. And I would say to CJ Bala too, it's always going to be a balance. I mean, you do get some cool rewards just for subbing on its own now. Now that you have the 5 emotes, I mean, that's definitely a lot better than the 1 you used to get. So that's always nice as a sub perk. But you can get really creative with ways to give subs even more stuff like that. Like Vel said, maybe it's an extra social media channel where you get like more private access to you as a subscriber, or maybe you do some sort of like giveaways, like Daisy said and Trui said, or whatever you can think of. I've done like priority for tournaments in the past, or something that relates to your channel that people can get more of you out of. Is generally a good thing to do. So
the thing that I found out with doing sub giveaways is the last sub giveaway that I did, I had actually 5 people sub and actually renege it. Like they canceled the sub right away. So like they got their name into the sub giveaway and then they canceled their sub. So like I don't do sub giveaways anymore. It showed up, like made an alert, and then I went back in 30 minutes later and their sub was gone. So
I didn't know you can do that, to be honest. Does it refund your sub?
It just takes their money away.
Huh. I did not know that was a thing, to be honest.
So I don't do sub giveaways. I give them extra points, but then it's kind of.
I mean, you could probably get around that by if they cancel their sub, you don't give them the thing that they entered for.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's always going to be something that you have to think through. And we talk about sub perks a lot on this show because you always want to find something unique. I think that's the best thing. Like Vel Snapchat worked very well for Veloc, but I don't think that everyone should do a Snapchat. You should find something that relates well to your channel that, maybe if you make music or something, they get access to that, or there's a lot of cool ways you could do that for subs.
Your artist, do a custom piece for the sub if they, hit like a certain milestone. I've seen that, or like movie nights where off stream use was it Rabbit?
Yep, that's pretty cool. I've also seen like for games, so I play a lot of League, and they have little club tags in League that'll display next to your name. And this one guy just went through and got a bunch of cool tags, and if you sub, you get to pick one of the tags you want. Another guy will make like tier lists for certain characters in a game that are good, and only the subs get those. And there's some cool stuff you can do with your game specifically too if you get creative. So hope it helps you out though, dude. Thanks for the question. I think that was from YouTube, so appreciate that, man. I'm gonna check the Discord really quick to make sure we don't have any callers. I don't think we throw on Discord. We don't have any callers though. So let's go through the Twitch chat really quick. I saw one from Steamer. Steamer said, does StackUp also accept donations of games/consoles that we no longer use/play?
I will have to get back to you on that one. I've had somebody ask me that, and I never got a real clear. I know we're looking for donations. We're starting to build PCs for veterans. So I know PC parts are looking for, but as far as older consoles, I'm not sure. All the supply crates and stuff are all new in boxes, and so.
Makes sense. Well, his other question was, if other streamers want to support StackUp in their streams, how can they do that? So what are kind of your fast tips for that?
I actually gave them a link. If you go to the StackUp website and look up Stream Team, they can apply for the Stream Team, and they can also set up their own donor link. So if anybody wants to apply and they don't want to actually stream, just put that in the notes, and I'm actually going through all the applications so I can send them all the information.
Wow, there you go. So this is the person you want to talk to, guys, if you want to get streaming stuff. There you go. Okay, got a question from General Palace here. What's up, General? He says, any advice on searching for mods? I added my first mod who's a fellow streamer and a good friend, but he's not able to catch my stream that much, and I occasionally get raided with 50 plus people in chat, and I'm having trouble keeping up with it all. So what do you guys think about just searching for mods? And I'll tie this into another question later, but generally when you're looking for mods, what are you looking for, Veloc?
Somebody who, kind of understands your ideas on how you want the stream to go, like not just today but in the long run, how you want chat to like how far you want chat to go with certain things. Like my mods know how far we go with the insults, and when you say something it's too far, and they'll warn you, to say the least. But yeah, just kind of being an extension of the streamer. So it's hard to go out and like find people. What you have to do is you just have to grind it out and wait for the right people to show up and then mod them, and you'll unmod people eventually. And some people like Sometimes it's just there for a filler. But eventually you'll start weeding out the bad mods and you'll start picking up some people that really do understand where you're trying to go with it.
Yeah, I think trial and error is a really good idea. Like you mentioned, it's because you're not going to know right away unless maybe if someone's been a mod before in other channels, but it's still a different channel. So it's always going to be a little bit of guessing. And then over time, the ones that are really good will kind of stand out. Nice. Trui, what are your thoughts on choosing mods?
Well, I think the most important thing is that you trust a person, because if you don't trust them, yeah, they're gonna be having powers. As if you don't trust them, they might do certain things that you don't want to do. And well, at least you need to know the rules of your channel and kind of your boundaries. For me, like my channel is for all ages, at least 30 plus, because that's what Twitch is. And so if some people getting into gross conversations really deeply, mods should understand that we don't really want that here, and that we should warn them, or if it's really, really bad, that we should ban them. But most of the time that we should warn them first, or time out them first. And I think that's also pretty, pretty good to know. What do you do if somebody breaks the rules? Do we time out them? Do we ban them? Do we just say something against them? If it's like a new person that just comes in, they will get like less of a chance, I guess, than a regular would. If you come in to my stream and you just say you suck and go away after, you might get banned already. But if it's a regular, then you're like, well, that might be a joke.
Right. Having like a kind of a battle plan for, okay, here's what you do at this point. Here's kind of our policy on, you get a warning and then you get banned or whatever that is. Having that kind of uniform can help a lot, I think, with mods. That's a good point. So that you don't have one mod who's trigger happy and banning right off the bat, and another one who never bans and gives everyone a fifth chance. Because that happens for sure.
Yeah, because like I had a person in my channel and they were a regular, and my mods were like, I don't really know what to do with it, because they became... in my channel, you cannot talk Dutch, because I want everybody to understand what you're saying. I can speak Dutch, so the person knows that I can speak Dutch. But they were keep going in Dutch the whole time. And my mods were like, yeah, should we ban him or not? Because he's also a donator and he's a regular. And I'm like, well, if he doesn't know the rules and he's been warned and timed out before, we need to ban him, just because otherwise we're going to have a toxic community and everybody's going to speak their own language. And I think that's good to know.
That's a good topic I think I want to come back to if we have time, like multi-language streaming stuff, because that happens. Daisy, you have any thoughts on choosing mods?
Mods are never a permanent thing. If you have somebody that if you don't want to mod them, we have the VIP service now to recognize, donors and stuff instead of modding them. I can't say anything because I've had my mods. They've been with me I used to stream on Facebook, so I've had my mods with me for 3+ years. So trying to find a new mod on Twitch is...
Well, how'd you find them initially?
They were a regular. They showed up to my Facebook lives for a year plus, and on Facebook I didn't have any modifiers or any But then when I went over to Twitch, I was like, hey, I'm transitioning here. Could you help me out? And they're like, oh yeah, and they have been with me since day one. They are,
Yeah, that's the thing I definitely have seen in my experience is people who are there a lot tend to be pretty good mods. Even because it's not the people you might think right off the bat, like your friend or another streamer who, they've got experience, right? Or they know me really well. But it's actually people who are there day after day and really kind of are watching each day and know how you react to situations.
If you're a regular, the streamer's limits, the rules, what's a bannable offense. You've seen the way the streamer has interacted with the audience, and if you pay attention to a streamer, then they may pay attention even more to you.
And not every regular is a great mod, but that's a good place to start, I think, for looking for people.
And don't ask the streamer to be a mod.
Yeah, that's actually, so let's tie us into another question, which I was actually going to cover anyway, which, let me pull it up really quickly here, we had last week, was from Sestriuto. He said, how early can you get mods? So what do you guys think about like how early on when you're streaming should you start looking for mods? Is it day one? Is it, waiting towards getting towards like that 10 viewer mark where you can't handle chat anymore? Trui, what would you say?
Well, for me, when I started streaming, I had my boyfriend who was always there for me, being my mod. So I didn't need a mod for like quite a while into my streaming. Like before I was like at 10 viewer average, I didn't need any mods because he was there to mod if I couldn't handle it. But I think that's really the first per streamer, because some people have a lot more trolls. Because if you're doing, for example, League, you might get more mods than more trolls than you would do for Mario Kart. Or if you're into the just chatting or something like that, there will be a lot more trolls coming at you. And I've seen some women that also have troubles with a lot of trolls and need a little bit more mods. But I don't really have that too often, and I just I don't know. Sometimes I can bend them myself. I think I have 4 mods in total now, and that works for me. And I think less is more. If you can handle it with less mods, the better, because you don't want your whole chat to be full of sword icons, because that's a bit scary for people that are new.
Yeah, so you're kind of the mindset of when you need them, then look for them, right? Yeah, once you're getting to that point where you can't handle it yourself or your existing mods can't handle it.
Yeah.
Sure. Vel, what would you say to this?
I would say don't rush it. Like, you'll know the right mod when they come around. You don't really need a mod at the very beginning because, what's wrong with, alt tabbing just to go to the other monitor real quick and handle chat. So for me, I had a couple people that I could tell like were mod material within the first, week or 2 of them being there. So after like kind of verifying with myself, I made them a mod, even though like they might have been my only 2 viewers. But it ended up working out really well, because when the channel does grow, like those people are already there. They already know like what their kind of like, duty is there almost. So them being the only viewers that I had day in and day out, they knew exactly what I wanted. And so as soon as I started picking up any viewers, it was just seamless.
Right. So it's like we said earlier, the people who've been there a while and just know what they're all about. It's a good transition. Cool. Daisy, you have any other thoughts to add on this?
Yeah, definitely don't rush it. I mean, that's the thing. You'll know it as soon as you interaction with them. You as a streamer will know, who's going to be a good mod.
Right. Just have that gut feeling, sort of. Definitely agree with that. I actually would kind of say I'm on the side where I would mod someone early, and then like I'm a big believer in give them a chance, and then if they don't work out within the next hour, cut them. Like, just kind of cycle through until you find the good ones. But you also definitely don't need a lot to start with, like Vel said. I mean, and Trui, you can probably handle chat for a good while, but sometimes modding someone can be a cool way to get them more engaged with the stream, especially if they've been there for a while. And you get that first few viewers. So that's what I would say, but there's not a right or wrong answer to this for sure.
The new Twitch tools that they have definitely made it more accessible for streamers to
like the role manager?
The role manager, and in the side Twitch chat, if you're not on mobile, to ban and time out a lot more accessible. It's a lot more accessible now than typing in a command. Right. So don't rush modding people.
Right. Fair enough. Okay, cool. So good question from General and Sestriuto. Appreciate you guys. Check on callers really quickly, but I think we're clear right now. By the way, guys, if you call in, you get to skip the queue for questions, so that gets you faster onto the show and things like that. Looks like we have Mr. Wicket looking to come on the show as I say that during the call. And I will have my trigger finger on the hang up this time for people I don't recognize. Just gonna go ahead and say that.
Sport.
Yeah. Mr. Wicket, I'll add to the call here, I think as soon as we get the friend request. Looks like we just got it. Perfect stuff. All right. Add him right now. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hello?
Hey, can you hear us?
Not much.
What do you want to talk about on the show today? Hello?
I had a question about, I call it reverse. Oh God, I just forgot the word.
Can't hear you very well. You there?
You can hear me?
Yeah.
All right, my question is about networking.
Okay.
I am a very much an extrovert person in real life, but I'm not so. I'm more of an introvert online. How do you network?
Okay. So you're not used to sort of online going into a lot of people's channels and profiles and things like that, as opposed to just kind of doing your own thing.
Yeah, and for me, it's like when I talk in people's chat, if they get above like 8 viewers, I kind of, go quiet.
Okay. So in someone else's channel, you mean, if they get above 8?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Cool. So it's kind of hard to make that connection after like a lot of people start coming to that channel. Kind of feel like you can't break through that crowd as much. Let's throw this to Trui first. What are your thoughts on starting to network on Twitch and getting comfortable with that?
Well, at the first I started to only network in Twitch streams, but for me it actually helped out a lot more to also do it on Twitter and on Discord. I joined a lot of communities and started to talking to people. And this is really overwhelming at the start because some communities are having a chat that is booming and you have no clue who all those people are.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time just saying hello can be pretty overwhelming, but just start saying hello or just good morning and then try and ask people how they're doing, and hopefully they will give you a little bit more to talk about. Maybe they say like, oh, I had a bad day today, and then you ask like what happened, and hopefully you will get a conversation rolling like that. And I have that in Twitch chat as well. If somebody says something, I try to see if I can ask them something, because asking questions most of the time gets a conversation rolling. And well, if you get a conversation rolling, you can actually meet a person and know what they're up to and who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just asking a lot of questions to a lot of people, and that helped a lot for me. And I know a lot of people now, and talk a lot. Just don't panic about saying something, because you don't say something bad really quickly. Unless, you're gonna call people things, but if you're just trying to be yourself and trying to be nice, you're not gonna say something bad and gonna turn off people. I mean, you will maybe turn off some people, but those people are probably not the kind of people you want to hang out if you turn them off, because you want to search for people that are like you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So just be yourself and talk to a lot of people.
Sure. Just getting used to that feeling kind of online.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's good at it in real life. It's more the online kind of situation there. Daisy, you have any thoughts on networking online, getting used to that?
I do a lot of networking off Twitch. Like I do a lot of lurking on Twitch, and but most of my interaction with other people is on Discord and Twitter, and that's how engaging in conversations. If they have if they tweeted about something that I liked, I'd comment on it, and then we'd have a engaging conversation, and then it leads over into Twitch. It doesn't have to start on Twitch. It doesn't have to end on Twitch. It's all around social media. So like I'm more comfortable meeting people and talking to people like off stream, because I feel like I get more of their, I'm not as overwhelmed like, our caller is. And yeah, definitely use your social media. It's private messages, you get that one-on-one. If they don't answer you, they don't want to engage with you, then they're, just don't take it personally. So.
Yeah, that's the big thing with networking too, is it's going to take time to find people that are kind of worth networking with sometimes. I'm very much of the belief that you should go kind of deep versus wide with networking and focus on a couple people to really get to know and just become good friends with, versus trying to like get your number up and, I went in 20 streams today. Okay, great. But how much can you tell me about those 20 streamers versus the one guy I spent all day with, right? So that's kind of what I would say. But Vel, what are your thoughts on networking when you're getting used to this online?
It is really difficult, and I do totally agree with what Green said. You don't want to try to network with a bunch of people. You want to make solid connections with, a fewer amount of people. So what I do is I just go into channels and I find somebody that I enjoy, because that's what matters before, trying to network with somebody is, do you enjoy their content? Because ultimately, if you try to, bring your community over there, or if they bring their community over to you and something doesn't click, it's going to show. So you definitely want to make sure that whoever it is you're trying to connect with, that you agree with their content and you get entertainment out of them somehow. But yeah, just hang out in their channel. Don't talk about being a streamer. Don't talk about any of that. Just try to talk about not talk about who you are, but just express yourself and just make that connection. Just try to be a viewer in their channel. And then you can DM them off stream sometime, be like, hey, I really enjoy your content. Wouldn't mind, connecting sometime, maybe getting some games in together at some point. Like, you don't need to ask for anything. Don't ask for a raid or a host or any of that stuff. Just, offer them a little collaboration and see where it goes.
Right.
Yeah,
And
never ask for a raid. That's like, if you ask for a raid, you're never going to get it ever.
Yeah.
So, give raids, and at some point you're gonna receive them, because in the first year of my streaming career, I didn't get a lot of raids at all. Like, if I had 5 in 2 months, that would have been a lot. Well, sometimes now I got 5 raids in one stream, and I didn't do anything different, but people just get to know me. So it takes time to get raids.
Absolutely. Wicked, do you have any other thoughts or questions to add on to that?
No, it's just from what I'm understanding is pretty much just go out and just talk.
Yep, that's pretty much networking. But it
Make
comes
friends.
down. Yeah, exactly. That's what we always say. It's just getting people, learning what you like about people, and finding people to watch who you can relate to and be good friends with, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Cool, man. Thank you for calling in. I
Yes.
appreciate it. All right. We'll talk to you later, man. See ya. I think he was maybe watching the stream there, so there's a little bit of delay instead of listening to the actual call. That might have been why. Thank you for the call, though. Appreciate that. I saw some other questions in the chat, which I'll go through really quickly. Calls are wide open, by the way, guys. So Condifly asked, best way to co-stream on Twitch, i.e. using a third-party multi-stream or doing shout-outs, etc. So what do you guys think about multi-streaming with Twitch in general? Because we kind of go back and forth on this a lot with some guests and different topics and things like that. Daisy, have you ever experimented with multi-streaming or have thoughts on it?
Me personally, I engage a lot in chat, and I don't like my chat waiting. So for me, multi-streaming doesn't necessarily work out because I'm muting them more often, so it's not really, worth it. I do stream, or if I want to stream with them, I actually go and engage, or if I want to play with them, I end my stream and raid them and bring my community, and we go back and forth. This one guy and I, we play Dauntless. He plays with me offline, I play with him offline. So that's how, we do our multi-streams. Just so we're not talking over each other. Both of us have pretty big personalities, and we're both very engaging in chat. So I'd rather have all of our chats in one space and helping them. It's better for me to go over there, or him go, for our channels.
Keep it all in one place and not kind of split up. Yeah, I meant to say co-stream, by the way, guys, not multi-stream. That's a little bit different. But yeah, co-streaming in general, it's a lot to balance with talking to the other person and different chats. And Vel, what are your kind of thoughts on co-streaming? Because you've done that quite a bit in the past.
Yeah, I do it a little bit throughout the week too, mostly on the later streams. But start doing it with people that you already have connection with. Don't try not to start doing your first co-stream with somebody that you've never even played video games with. So it's a lot of being really good at push to talk and push to mute, You know, you don't want to be the guy that's talking during somebody else's stream. I mean, it does happen, and occasionally, like, you slip up and you're pressing the button when you don't mean to. But just having that respect for the other streamer is really, really huge. But I would say definitely start with a friend, and because you already have that kind of back and forth that can be really, really special for that kind of stream. Yeah, that's the best advice that I have, is just starting out with a friend and just having somebody that you can, shit talk to, or whatever it is that you want to do to your friend, because it makes it special. If you're just doing a regular stream, but other people are streaming as well, like, you're not getting any extra content out of that. You're missing out on a lot.
Right. So his other part of that question was, do you ever kind of do multi-streaming or shout outs or anything for the other person, or just kind of, you just play games together and that's it?
You could definitely, I definitely recommend shouting out the other streamer as much as you can. I do think that when you start bringing in multi-stream, it kind of like, one person at least is going to get muted from the viewer. So that doesn't count as an actual number.
Multi-streaming, I feel like, has lost a lot of the hype since it sort of first became a thing. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, Trui, do you ever co-stream at all with other people, or thoughts on it?
I have done it before when I streamed Siege, but it was like it was really hard to keep up with, because you don't want, like, you want to thank people for following and stuff like that, but you also don't want the other person to hear that, because that's really weird. Because so you need to, like, mute yourself and unmute yourself for, like, talking things you do in game, and it just gets really hectic, if you ask me.
Yeah, I would say, personally, I think game choice matters a lot for this, because some, like, squad games are really good for co-streaming, because either you're always in a squad, or they just work very well when you have, like, 1 or 2 people you're playing with, versus some games where it can get really chaotic if it's like a 5 or 10 man team, or whatever you're doing. And we talked about this last week too, but finding someone that's good to co-stream with is a whole nother ball game. Whether or not you should be doing it is one question, but then 2, trying to find someone who you can bounce off of, and you kind of both give each other space to do something with your own stream and not get offended that you're being so quiet. And there's a lot of, like, nuances there that take some learning. And like Vel said, I think starting with people that you know is a good way to do that, because then they'll kind of understand, why you're going quiet, or can kind of play off your energy a bit more if they know you pretty well. So that's a good way to start, I would agree. And yeah, multi-streaming, I don't ever watch a multi-stream anymore. I can't think of the last time I did. Squad stream, maybe, because it's built into Twitch and it's a new kind of thing, but still,
you need to be a partner for that, though.
Yeah, first of all, it's inaccessible, but second of all, I don't think even people are using that much. So I don't know, maybe for, like, certain squad games. But good question, man. Let's read off donations really quickly here, because I saw one from Hrungvar, who donated $25. He said, "For the vets." Hrungvar, thanks for the 25, dude. Appreciate you. Enjoy your free t-shirt. And Trui resubbed. Thank you for the sub, Trui. Appreciate that. During the show. That's pretty good. Okay, so Timmy2Clips asked, any tips on networking on a limited time frame efficiently? For me, I'm not allowed cell phone use in the vast majority of the day. So you guys are kind of on a tight time crunch. Maybe you have like an hour or half an hour to network each day. How would you be using that time? Trui, those to you on first.
Well, I think your personal Discord is your first priority, because you want to make sure that you keep your community engaged with you. And I mean, it's nice to get new people in, but you want to make sure that your regulars know what you're up to. And I think like half an hour per day is pretty short for networking. So if you have some time left, try and get to know people in other Discords. I think Discord is like a huge thing. Twitter is also a huge thing, but if you want to meet some more streamers, I would recommend going to talk to people in Discord if you just have an hour to do it.
I think you bring up a really good point there with maintaining your existing community, because I think it's really easy to get caught up in new people and finding new channels and new viewers, but then sometimes you're so focused on that you lose track of just connecting with your existing people who are already there. That's like this whole phenomenon that there's a name for, I can't remember, but a lot of times it can be worth just putting more time in people that are already there, and new people will come along. You shouldn't like take for granted the people that are already there, because if you don't give them some time, they could just end up leave and you're back where you started, right? So,
Yeah.
Daisy, you have any thoughts on this?
I suck at Discord.
Fair enough.
I get so overwhelmed in Discord that going into a community and trying to engage in a conversation or it's difficult for me. I didn't even hear of Discord until I started streaming, and even though I've been PC gaming for a long time, a lot of my friends came from console playing. So I suck at Discord.
See, I feel like Discord is the easiest for me, even over Twitch to some extent, because at least the Discords I'm in feel so low pressure. It's just chat about whatever. That's literally how you network in Discord. It's just you can talk about what you ate for breakfast. You can talk about whatever. And that's just a way to get to know people more casually. But I mean, it is effort to go find Discords that are worth being in and trying to remember like what channels you should be talking in and keep track of people. So I can see that for sure. But what would you say basically?
Discord.
Yeah, exclamation point Discord. If you have limited time during the day and you want to network, what are you focusing on generally?
If I only had limited time, for me, I'm more comfortable on Twitter.
Okay.
That's just, reading and engaging with people. That's, something that I can do anywhere. And, it doesn't take as much effort, especially if you're limited. Just focus on a smaller group. Don't try to put yourself out there to a million people. Just find somebody that has, this kind of the same niche or the same, community views or the same game, and, work off of that. Don't go to, just general networking. Don't go to 8 million different people. Focus on 2 or 3 and make friends. I mean, if you're limited, it's hard. If you're real limited, it really is.
Sure. And you're on Twitter. Are you usually just catching up with people that you already know, or are you looking for new people specifically on Twitter?
It's more people that I've already known.
Right.
That's because people I engage with every single day.
Sure.
And a lot of them didn't even know I was a streamer for months until I posted something on my Twitter, and they're like, "Oh, well, you stream too," and they happen to catch it. Like, yeah.
So it's like Trui said too, just focusing on people that you already know existing, and just putting more time into them, which I think is a good point.
Yep.
Veli, what are your thoughts on limited networking, half an hour a day? What do you do at that time?
So back when I did have a full-time job, I actually did have to deal with this quite a bit, where I only had like maybe an hour to network each day. And what I would do is I would, like, after finding somebody, I would try to like show up to the stream for at least a decent part of that amount of time that I had, just showing them that I'm there supporting and I really like their content. I think just showing up for a stream with the amount of time that you do have, and then also voicing like, hey, sorry I can't be here, more like, my schedule's pretty tight, and they'll appreciate that you're taking whatever time you can out of your day to show up and hang out in their channel and support them.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So same thing too, focusing on like one or two people, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And going deep. Sounds like a common thread, man. So Timmy, hopefully that helps you out. Just work with what you have, and eventually that'll hopefully pay off for you. Good question though. Appreciate that. So I guess Hrungvar is following that up with his own question. He said he's I don't know if this is an actual question or not. A lot of people like tag me and don't actually ask questions. It's very confusing.
I don't like
car
that.
sticker.
Way to go, Garrett.
I guess this is a question. Okay. So he's thought about putting a sticker on his car with his Twitch channel. It's a very unique question. First of all, what do you guys think about this? But secondly, like, have you thought or seen any creative ways to advertise your Twitch in real life or in new ways? Daisy, what do you think about putting a sticker for your channel on your car?
I have stack-up shirts with my name on the back of them that I wear, every Friday for Red Friday. When I go grocery shopping every Friday, so I wear my stack-up shirts with my name on it if I go to any gaming conventions. As far as on my car, my kids would not allow me to. I have teenagers. They love the fact that I stream. They love the fact that I play video games. But my son, who's 17, is learning how to drive. he won't allow me to put any logos on it. That's just my personal thing.
Because then he's got to drive it too. Yeah. Makes sense. Trui, what do you think about this one?
Well, for me, it's pretty hard because here in the Netherlands, a lot of people don't even know what Twitch is. So advertising for it, people just don't know what you mean with it. What's going on? So, like, IRL advertising is not really an option for me because of that. Yeah, no, yeah. I wear my Twitch jacket, but nobody ever like actually says, "Hey, like that. I know that. Are you a Twitch streamer?" Because nobody actually knows the logos.
That's fair enough. How about like any kind of creative ways you found to advertise yourself online that you don't see a lot of people using? I know you do YouTube, so that's a big thing for sure. Do you see a lot of people come to your Twitch from your YouTube?
Yes, a lot. A lot of people. And I think like using Twitter in a unique way is also pretty huge. If you a lot of people just tweet that they're going live, but like using all the features in Twitter itself is pretty huge because you can also be live on Twitter. I do that sometimes just with my phone, just make a little just chatting kind of thing. Making polls on Twitter, posting videos, just like short videos of you telling something or just something funny you did. If you do those things, you will always get picked up by the algorithm of Twitter, and that actually is pretty huge because then your other tweets that you're going live tweets will also get more attention because Twitter is pushing them out more because they know people like your content and that you use all the features of Twitter. So I think, using Twitter in a different way and using YouTube is pretty huge for like online promotion.
Right. I think Twitter videos in particular, I don't see a lot of those, especially live streamed ones. So that's a cool example of something that people aren't doing a lot of. The thing about crazy examples like this is because they're not so common, they stand out a bit more. So when you see a live stream on Twitter or you see a bumper sticker on your car, that's not very often that you see that. So you might actually think to go check it out. So that's a good point, I think. Vel, do you have any thoughts on interesting advertising strategies?
I've actually, Dan the Dapper has a sticker on his car advertising his Twitch channel. I know he's gotten a few followers out of that, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it worked for him. I mean, it's not going to get you like a crap ton of followers or anything. It's not going to like make you huge on Twitch, but it might give you, that the extra 2 or 3 followers every once in a while. Maybe some coworkers or, yeah. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it'd be a good idea. Anything to kind of get more exposure because it's hard to get, what am I trying to say? Discoverability is hard as it is.
Yep.
So,
that's fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I sometimes will wear my shirts out in public and everything like that. Sometimes I wear no shirt. That gets a lot of attention.
Yep. Always attention that way. I think,
can't do that on Twitch though.
Yeah, I didn't know Dan had a bumper sticker though. That's exactly what he's asking about. So apparently it'll get you a few followers if you do that. So go for it if you want to, Hungvar. Okay, next question. Let me check Discord. I need to keep making sure we don't have callers here. Oh, we have 2 callers. Okay. All right. I guess we'll do Edible first because he hasn't been on here in some time. No. I was like, cut it.
Get him out. Get him out.
Can't have him on. All right. So let me go ahead and get Edible added to the call here, and then we will see what he wants to do. Ring along right here. Edible, maybe? Edible, you there?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
British Avenger was before me.
Okay, well, I pulled you first. I didn't know who got in there first. Sorry, bud.
Also, to answer Hungvar's question, you put your sticker on other people's cars.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, God.
Just hand out flyers.
That's why I said don't have him on the show.
Go to the parking lot.
So, I got a 2-part question, sort of. All right, so how do you, like, I have a pretty crazy, like, personal life, right? Just self-imposed, mainly. But, like, I get a lot of migraine headaches, and it's hard for me to go live lately because I've been getting them every day. How do you handle that, setting up a schedule with that? And then I've got demon spawn that are running around right now because of summer break.
So lots of things that are making it hard for you to stay consistent with your stream, whether that's like physical health or real life kiddos getting in the way, basically.
Right.
Okay. good question here. I'll throw this to, I guess, Daisy first. What are your thoughts on dealing with, you have kids like you mentioned, so either that or some other sort of physical things that get in the way of your stream schedule?
Surprisingly, I use Discord to talk to my community about it. I'm very open and honest with my community. That they know I have teenagers. They know they always come first. So I use Discord and make announcements, and if I'm not able to stream that night, then I spend a majority of my time, if I'm not dealing with my kids, then I'm, going back and forth in Discord and engaging with them and still giving them, that some of my time and splitting it with my kids, or, like if I'm not feeling well, then just be honest with them. That's the biggest thing. If your community, knows you and you're honest with your community, they're going to appreciate that a lot more than just hiding it. Say, be honest. I mean, if it happens, then it happens. Life happens. Right.
Just over communicate with your community so they know what's going on, basically.
Right.
Good stuff. Trui, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I myself, I also have migraines a lot. I got pills for it though, like subscription. But most of the time I just go live with it, and I tell them that I have a migraine and that therefore I might not be as, as entertaining as I would be normally. And maybe I ended an hour earlier or something like that. But most of the time I just go live, even if I don't feel too well, and I just tell people that I don't feel too well, so they can expect me to react a little bit different than I do normally.
Gotcha. So just letting them know, but kind of trying to power through it at the same time.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay.
Nice. Vel, what did you say to this one?
As far as headaches go, like crack or meth usually helps.
Well, that's
For sure.
But
That's normally
as far as the schedule goes,
And the kids too, to be honest. I mean,
yeah.
well, I
Use Benadryl.
give them LSD.
yikes. That's the show.
So
guys.
as far as the schedule goes, I had a very limited amount of time last year where I could stream. So I had a very limited amount of time on stream. I only streamed 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, and I wanted to do way more than that. But I mean, if you know of like a hour or 2 hour long block like every once in a while that you can show up for, then make that your schedule. Like it doesn't have to be a crazy long schedule or anything. Just whatever you can fit in, get that time in consistently.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's
Right,
true.
right.
Like that's one thing I've talked about in the past a lot is you try to like have as much consistency as you can, but communicating, like you said, to like Daisy said, is very important. So maybe you let your stream know, okay, if I'm live this week, I'll be live at this time, and then like day up, you'll say, okay, I will be live this time. Here's what time, and if something comes up, then they'll understand that. It's really working around what you can, because I don't think you want to sacrifice like your kids for your stream, right?
I don't care about them. It's really
In that case, man, I mean, just stream through it all, grab some pills, you're good to go.
it's really just Gringa or whatever she calls herself now getting mad at me.
Whatever.
I'll be like, go swim in the pool.
Well, I mean, that's your prerogative, dude. I mean, whatever you want to do. If they're no concern, then you just, you get super consistent. It sounds like you have
They're
your
just
answer.
loud.
Yeah.
They're just
That's
loud.
true. Well, push to mute is a good friend, I would say, in that situation.
Right.
Noise gate.
Yeah. But seriously, though, I mean, sometimes you can work your kids in a funny way. Some people are good at doing that. I personally wouldn't like use my kids on stream, but it's really up to you what you want to do there.
I feel real weird about that.
Yeah, I would too.
I play Minecraft with my daughter. She, she doesn't have a camera or anything. She's in her own Xbox and her own room and her own space. So it's just her voice. But people know that she's my daughter, and they know that she can't read Twitch chat, so we're good.
Yeah, I mean, you could also like, maybe look at streaming without a camera if that's a real concern that like your kids are gonna be on camera all the time. You can still make that work.
My kids are like ninjas, and they just appear behind me, scare the bejesus out of me. I pause myself right there. Family-friendly content.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
And it ends up me yelling swear words at him, and it wouldn't be a good look. But yeah.
well, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
it doesn't count if you're scared.
maybe you can look at streaming more when they're asleep or something, or
That's what I
They don't sleep.
there's no easy answer to it. I mean, it's gonna be working with what you can, and then trying to, again, like Daisy said, trying to communicate with your stream so they know what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be trying to do what you can with it for sure. Maybe like YouTube's more beneficial because then you could edit stuff out. If that's a concern, do some like less live content. It might not be less, might be more unappealing to you, but it might actually help you in the long term. So
Yeah. Cool.
yeah, man.
Thank
Any
you,
other thoughts
guys.
or questions?
And ladies. Nope, that's all I got. And non-gender binaries, because we include them. Let's go. I'm gone.
All right.
Good night.
See you later, man. Thanks for the call. What a guy. All right. We have another caller who I will get ready to add to the show, which is British Avenger. Just going back to back here. Avenger calls in like every week. Very cool dude. I'm going to go ahead and add him to the show right now. Hopefully the scene is okay. Yep, should be good. All right. Avenger, hello.
Yo,
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm alright. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Thanks for calling in. What do you want to talk about today?
So, I want to ask, is it better do one long stream or is it better just do like 2 medium length streams?
Okay. How much time are you working with here? Like, what's your definition of short and long?
I guess like medium would be like 3 or 4 and like long would be like maybe up to like 6-7 hours.
Okay, so doing like 2 3-hour streams versus 1 6-hour stream, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's throw this to Velok first, because I know he's gone through some experimenting with this with his own channel. What are your thoughts on this question?
I know that 4 hours, like any stream past 4 hours, normally will be a little bit too taxing on me mentally. It's hard to like keep the entertainment up past 4 hours if you're like a higher energy streamer or anything like that. So I do the 2 separate streams where I do a 4-hour block and then a 2-hour block later on in the day. And so far, it's proven to be really, really nice for me at least. And I know that if I'm in a better mood, you know, not as tired from doing anything longer than 4 hours, I know I'm putting out better content. So that's how I look at it.
Right. Do you think it'll work better for you in the long run too?
Absolutely.
'Cause you used to stream from like 8 to 1 or so, right?
Yeah, something like to like 2 or 3 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was too much, and yeah, I got burnt out on that within like the first like month or two. Yeah, it'll just anything to help like take a little bit of stress off of you will help you stay in it longer and happier.
Right. And something I would say about that is it may seem like it's dangerous to do that because you might see like some initial viewership loss if people aren't there as long, or if people don't know that you're going to be streaming again in the afternoon or something. But I think long run it'll pay off because people will learn that eventually, and you'll have more energy in the long term to sustain that. So I think you'll actually see a viewership growth long term if you were to look like a year instead of a month, if that makes sense. Trui, what are your thoughts on scheduling like this?
Yeah, my schedule is just 3 days a week on Twitch, at least, for 5 hours every stream. So I do reasonably long streams. I like that because I'm European and I start at 8 p.m. for me, and that is 2 p.m. Eastern, I believe. So that is actually pretty nice because at the start of it, I get a lot of Europeans, and the further I go to my stream, I get more Americans. So like for me, 5 hours is really nice because of the time zones. But I wouldn't recommend anybody to do more than 6 hours, at least not on a schedule that is just you gotta die from that.
Yeah. And don't do 80-hour weekends, right?
No. Just sad.
Yeah.
Was that crazy? 80 hours? And I would also not recommend doing shorter streams than 2 hours because some people need to have some time to even see that you're streaming. So if you just stream for an hour, you might just miss out on people that actually want to be in your stream anyway, that just didn't see that you were live at that moment. So I recommend doing not less than 2 hours and not more than 6. And like it's really a personal thing if you like doing more like 2 hour streams every evening, or if you're more like a person that does longer streams a couple of days a week instead of like every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you mentioned a good point there too, and kind of finding what works for you. Because I don't think this is a one size fits all answer. It depends on like, do you have the energy to sustain it? Are you getting burnout for the long streams, or are you fine to go through it? Because people kind of function differently. There are big streamers who do both sides of this. I know Vel was talking about how like Ninja will split up his streams, and Tim, and then some other guys will just go forever, like 6-8 hours a day, and they're totally fine. So it depends on what you can do, and I think there's evidence of streams that can do both well. So don't feel like one or the other is the better way to go. Daisy, you have any thoughts on scheduling?
My schedule's all, I maintain a consistent schedule. I do 3 days a week, 4 hours, and I don't deviate from that very often. Just because I'm doing, stack up stuff. I organize my day. So yeah. As far as, I wouldn't go any less than 2 hours. I've noticed that if I can't stream at least 2 hours, then I'm not even gonna bother. I would rather take that 2 hours and focus on YouTube content, than stream.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because at some point you're gonna not really get more benefit from streaming more, sort of. Like I always go back to that number of 20 hours a week is what most partners are streaming. So beyond that, like, yeah, I guess maybe you're getting more viewership and stuff, but it's probably more effective to put that time into YouTube or some other platform.
Networking or, YouTube, extra content creation.
Yep, absolutely. And then you don't get burnt out as much, which is nice. Cool. Well, Avenger, you have any other thoughts on that or follow-up questions?
Not from that. I just want to add, I'm insulted I got picked second.
I'm sorry. I can't see the order. I'm sorry. But thank you for calling every week, dude. We appreciate your calls.
No problem. Yeah.
We'll see you, man. I'm sorry to insult our viewers like that, but that's what we do around here at the Stream Key podcast each and every week. All right. Looks like Wakaba resubbed for 4 months. Wakaba, thanks for the resub, dude. Appreciate you. Just a reminder, guys, subs and bits don't go towards Stack Up. So if you want to support the charity, make sure you donate there. Link should be in the chat. But we do appreciate those because they help us put on events like this and do giveaways during the weekends. So still appreciate that. Some questions now coming in through Twitch chat. That's a tongue twister there. Steamer said, what are the guest strategies for finding and friending streamers / viewers as a viewer on Twitch? Do you go through channel and game selection? Do you look at stream size? Do you look at what date and time they stream on? When you guys are looking for new channels to watch, interact in, what are you kind of filtering by? I'll throw this to Trui first.
Well, because my niche is pretty clear, I try and find a lot of people that actually play the same kind of games as I do. So sometimes I go to the discovery page, go to a game I play, and then look at some streamers in there, see what their size is. If they're like around my size, I always try finding people around my size because I feel comfortable with that. And then I go to in their past VODs, see what they play. If they have a consistent schedule with what I do and what I like, I start watching their stream and see if I enjoy the stream as well. And if I do, I follow them. I also find a lot of people via Twitter, just a lot of people that I know from there, and just communities that I'm on in Discord.
Gotcha.
Most of the time, I don't really like battle royales, so I don't follow a lot of people that play battle royales. Only if I know them on a personal level. So I try to see which games they play, and if I know them already, I follow them. But if I don't know a person and they only stream Fortnite, I will probably not follow them.
So it's mostly people that are in the game that you're playing or the games, and then also kind of around your same size overall. Do you ever factor in time of day they're streaming, or do you tend to look at a certain time each day?
Just when I have time, I open Twitch and I see which followers are live and then click on some.
Yeah, I think probably why he's asking this is sometimes he'll get caught up in trying to find people who, I know there's one guy who got partnered and just got a lot of growth and kind of built it all based off of okay, I'm looking at channels that are live before me, and then I'll get to know them, and then they'll be likely to raid me, which maybe there's some strategy there, but I feel like that's kind of sleazy if you're looking to do that personally. But I'm kind of just like you, Trui. I look for people who are in the game I like to play and watch, and people around my same size personally. But Daisy, what do you look for when you're looking to network with people? Maybe Stack Up comes into play there.
Veteran tags, which I don't even think there's a veteran tag anymore. Before we got rid of communities, I would look towards, more towards veteran players, and then go off of gaming. Big thing now is looking for the Stack Up tag that we have now, call to arms, and then the game. That's, I look at, I go look for friends. So, if I'm going to find a friend, I'm going to find, I'm going to look, first thing I'm going to focus on is common interest, which is, a community, or a similar game, and work off of that.
Right. And even like commonalities in general, right? So viewer size is another thing, or just channel size. You can more easily relate to that person for sure. Vel, what are your thoughts on finding new people to watch? What do you look for?
I go into the games that I'm currently interested in, and then I start by looking for streamers around my size, and then I usually will wander away from that after a while, because what I'm looking for is kind of like a streamer who, I don't know, seems to have the same mindset and mentality as me and other streamers that I like to watch and hang out with. If you come across as a kind of person that's doing it for anything but just trying to entertain people or make friends, I'm usually not going to be hanging out for that long, because it seems disingenuine. So I just try to look for just genuine people that just want to hang out and make good content. That's ultimately what it all comes down to.
Gotcha. And kind of align with the stuff that you believe in and your own channel. I think that's a good point too. And I should mention that I do like to sometimes watch people who are kind of a little bit bigger than me, not a lot bigger, but who have there's something that they're doing right, that I'm kind of missing my channel. So kind of figuring out what that is. And then sometimes people who can kind of encourage you that way, you hear that common phrase, you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. I think that's kind of maybe true with Twitch a little bit, where if you're watching more impressive streamers, or not impressive, but streamers who take it more seriously, or have something to learn from or be inspired by, I think that'll actually show up in your own content, and you'll kind of just passively absorb that while you're watching them. So that can be a good impression on your own content by just watching people who have something a little bit more special going on. So good question though. I appreciate that, Steamer. Hopefully that answers your questions there. We have any other questions in chat here. Edible asked, how do you network if you're a jerk? I don't know if anybody has any comments on that one. Oh, Vel's a bad dude, by the way, now, apparently.
Uh-oh. What? Huh?
Vince is having so much fun in the booth there, right on the screen. Edible, you just find other bad dudes to network with, I think. That's how you network as a bad dude.
Yep.
Pretty sure.
Spot on.
Well,
common interest.
Questions and calls are wide open now, guys. So if you want to ask your own comments or questions, great time to do it. You can call into the show via Discord, or just go ahead and ask your chat question there. Tag at TRUgaming so I see it. It can be about literally anything. We do have some questions from last week, which I will pull up really quickly here, and we'll go through some of those as well. Okay, so we went through Thestrudo's question already. So CYP Ryan said, as a variety streamer, I don't want to bother fans of game A with notifications when playing to stream game B. Would you consider several Twitter accounts or even several Twitch accounts? That doesn't sound reasonable for me. So basically he's looking for, he's got this split community basically between different games, and he doesn't want to, annoy one section of his community by pinging that he's live when he's streaming a game they might not be interested in. So he's maybe thinking of creating separate accounts for each game. What do you guys think about this concept overall? Vel, I'll throw this to you first.
I don't really like the idea of having multiple accounts for anything, really. I think you breaking up your schedule and having designated days for specific games will probably be the easiest thing for you. That way the people who don't like game B will not show up for game B. They'll only show up for game A. Yeah, I think just sticking to one account will ultimately just be the best thing for you. Having multiple accounts could be quite a lot to deal with. I think just breaking up your schedule and just, overly advertising which days are for which games, I think it will be beneficial for you.
And what would you say, because I think the core question here is he's kind of unsure what to do because his community split between games as variety caster. Like, do you have any general tips on dealing with kind of, maybe he's a little bit mentally stressed there?
Okay. Do what makes you happy. I mean, don't play a game just because viewers want you to play a game, because I've had that and it doesn't go well all the time. Just play the games that you think you're going to be a good streamer for and that you can make good content, because that's what it all comes down to. Viewers don't always know how the stream should go. They think they do, but they don't know you like you do. So just do what you want, and you know what's best for your channel is, I guess, the best way to put it.
Right. You kind of find that over time. And I think it's also like, you don't need to get so granular with it, because variety streaming is very accepted now. It's very known, it's a thing. So don't get too worried about, like, this is my Fortnite brand and this is my Overwatch brand and this is, it can all be the same thing. And you're going to have to get that some point eventually, because it's not sustainable to grow two separate streaming brands at the same time and just up and up and up. You're going to get stuck somewhere if you don't make that transition. Trui, what are your thoughts on dealing with multiple games you're streaming? Because you do variety a little bit yourself, right?
Yeah, well, I used to do like literally everything I wanted to play. That didn't work out that well, because on some days I would have like a full chat of people, and some days people were like, "Oh, I don't really want to see this." So one thing I think is really important is to find games that kind of fit with each other. So like, if you like multiplayer games, just stick a bit to that multiplayer kind of thing, because then you get the same kind of people in. You want to at least make sure that your audience is the same kind of people, not that you're playing like a kids game the one day and like Siege the other day, because then people are getting just confused about like who's this stream for. So like, if you play some different games, that's good, but you should make sure that the audience would be the same kind of audience that you would have for that other game as well. I think that's important. I mean, there will always people that don't like a certain game and do like another game. You will always have that. But I think it's important to just make sure that your audience is around the same in both games. Yeah.
That definitely makes sense.
Yeah, and there's also an option in if you have your dashboard, you can also have like this custom live message. I would recommend writing in into that thing which game you're playing, because then when they get a notification, they will automatically see which game you're playing, and then they can decide if they will come or not.
That's a good point as well. Daisy, what are your thoughts on dealing with streaming in multiple games and that whole mentality there?
Yeah, definitely keep it in around the same genre, and schedules. Making sure your community knows which game you're playing, if you're playing multiple games. Like during the week, I play like a Monster Hunter genre, and then every Saturday is my F-off stream, which is my shooter Saturday. That's the one day a week that I focus on first person shooters. And then because I kind of had that split community, and I was playing like every Tuesday and Thursday I was playing a shooter game, and then every Monday and Wednesday I was playing a Monster Hunter, and it got to be too overwhelming and too taxing, and I had to give on one community, and I focused on one genre majority of the time, and then dedicated one day a week to that other outside of the genre. So having the split community, you're gonna wear yourself out. Coming from personal experience. So
you're kind of like showing that up with more consistency though, because people know what days to come for what on your channel, which helps a lot. So that if you have that split community, they at least know what days to come watch it. Makes sense. All right, thanks for that question. That was from Sif Ryan or Sip Ryan. I can't remember. All right, moving back to the calls, we have Avenger coming back in with another call. He's got another good topic, I'm sure, to talk about. So let's get him back in the show really quick. Again, guys, you get to skip the line of questions if you call in. So, and you can ask about Stack Up and stuff today too. So that's really cool. If you have questions about charity streaming or events like that, that could be a cool topic for sure. Let's get Avenger coming in here right now. Hello, Avenger?
Hello?
What's going on, man? Welcome back. That was fast.
Yeah, hi. This question I always thought about was, like, being open with your viewers, of course, it can, let's say, like, connection with them.
Mhm.
But what is the point of, like, it being too far with being, like, open about your life, your personal life?
That's a really good topic. So, how far is too far when you're trying to just share about your life with your viewers, basically?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's throw this to Trui first. What are your thoughts on revealing as much as you should to your viewers?
I think this is really personal. For myself, I don't care if they know a lot about me. I mean, I don't want them to know my full name and where I live exactly. But I mean, I'm fine if they know which province I live in. And I also just want to protect the people around me, mostly to not be on the screen. And like my boyfriend is in my chat and his voice comes on my stream, but he's not actually on the camera ever. And so are my parents. Because I want to protect their privacy. They didn't choose to become a streamer. They don't choose to become, I don't know, to be on the internet like this. So I think for me, like, protecting the people around me is a big thing. But like, I don't care how much people know about me. Yeah, I'm pretty open about that.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that it's really personal. I think it's very true because you'll see a lot of people online who have very different opinions on how much they want to reveal about themselves. Some people don't use a webcam, they don't reveal anything about themselves, and some people are completely open. So that's a good point. Vel, where do you kind of fall on that spectrum?
I'd kind of say that, like, I'm 30 minutes outside of Detroit, because you could be anywhere basically with that. I don't really talk about my last name. I definitely don't talk about, like, my address or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, it's all just personal preference. I don't think there's really too much or too little for anybody. It's all just, what are you comfortable with putting out there? I don't know. I Sam has been on the stream. My wife has been on the stream a couple times, and people usually like that, and just lets people see a little bit more of me and who I am, which I think is good. But like I said, I don't talk about, like, the exact city that I live in or any of that stuff. Nothing to let people get too close to me that I wouldn't want in my personal life.
Yeah, and something that you and Trui both mentioned is bringing other people on the stream. I think that's kind of a related but separate topic. I think generally it's better to not have them on stream as a default, and if they want to come on, they can.
Right.
But I think it's a mistake to try and just automatically shoehorn them into the stream, because that's not going to end well for anybody. Daisy, what are your thoughts on this topic?
I have the military mindset. Need to know. I keep it very, like, some people know my kids' first names, but last names, school, or even the town that I live in. I say I live in around Fort Bragg. Well, Fort Bragg's huge, and they're surrounding, I keep it vague, just because I have always had that security mentality in my head, and especially being a mom, I turn into mama bear if anybody hurts my kids. So
yeah, I would probably be the same way with my kids too, when I do have kids with the stream, because that's, you don't mess with that for sure. Avenger, you have any other follow-up questions or thoughts on this?
Not really.
Cool, man. Well, thank you for calling and asking again. Appreciate your questions.
See you next week.
See ya. See you, man. Alrighty, jumping back into Discord here. Okay, some more questions from the chat. So Snap Tess says, what do you as a streamer use? Do you use a or more bots in your stream, basically? Multiple or single? And what does it add to your content? So bot-wise, what do you guys use in your streams? Do you use one? Do you use multiple? None? And kind of why do you use them? I'll start this with Daisy, actually.
I have one bot, just so I can yell at her pretty much all the time. I have a personal bot, so I have my own personal programming, and I have my own specific commands and timers and sound effects and stuff that is dedicated specifically for my stream. I like to keep it simple, just because of I one of my viewers is in my in the chat. Yeah, DaisyBot is her name. So she gets a lot of harassing.
That's a pretty creative usage of a bot. I'll say that.
Yeah. I have, timers that, like reward my stream currency every once in a while, or that's my shout outs and my song request, and like I abuse her.
That's what the bots are for, I guess. Trui, what's your bot situation with your stream?
I have two, I think. Stream Elements and Stream Avatars. Because Stream Avatars is actually the bot that I use for the little avatars underneath in my stream. With that bot, people can actually like change their avatar, do certain cool stuff with it. But I have them all under my own bot name, so they're all called Trui bot. And people don't actually see that there are multiple bots because they just run under the same name. So I personally like that it's just one bot and you just see that one bot in the chat. But because a lot of programs allow you to use your own bot, I think uniform content is good. So I like having one bot with one name and that is clear. It's called Trui bot, so people know it's my bot.
Mm-hmm.
It looks a lot more cleaner.
Yeah, that's a cool idea, actually. I hadn't thought about that. It's nifty. Cool. Well, so just like basic functions for one bot, and the other one is the stream avatars, which, has that been pretty big for your stream?
Yeah, I have that. I've had that for quite a while. I used it before also in the game screen, but I think it's a bit distracting. And now I use it when I'm talking, just when I have myself at the big screen. People see their little avatars underneath my stream. They're just like walking around. They can like sit, they can dance, they can even fart. pretty crazy. And just all followers that are in my stream watching get one and being in the stream, so I can like they're also part of my stream, and that's what I want to display to everybody, that it's not just me but also everybody who's in chat. I think that's pretty cool. I can also let them fight each other for my currency. Very cool.
To the death. Yeah. That's a cool little bot. I've seen that one before. I like that one. Vel, what about your bots, man?
I just have one bot. I just use Nightbot, and it's just pretty much just for shout out commands or talking about any extra things that I'm doing outside of just streaming. So like you can type in exclamation point meetup, and it'll show all like the events that I plan on attending this year, stuff like that. Just simple basic things, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Nightbot does a lot of what you need for basic functions.
Right.
For sure. Cool. Well, thank you for that question. Appreciate that. Snap tests. We actually have two callers. Tiffany will be up first, and then we'll have I Kill for Food after. So I'm going to go ahead and add Tiffany, if I can spell this right. Tiffany plays to the call. That's a very interesting profile pic, by the way.
I love that profile so much.
Tiff, are you here? Maybe. Get a mic set up, perhaps? Hello, Tiff.
Hello?
All right, well, sounds like she might be having mic issues, so we will go back for now. Tiff, hopefully you can get that sorted out and come back on the show. No rush. Hopefully that will work out for you. So I Kill for Food is on deck now. I'll add him as a friend really quickly. Do we have any donations? Yes, we had Samurai Pat, who donated $2 via Tiltify. Samurai, thank you for supporting Stack Up, dude. Appreciate that. Where are we at right now? I can't see the total, actually. 28201. Nice. And we just started off the event. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I Kill for Food should be coming on the show now. If he accepted my friend request. Did not. Okay, Kill, I just need you to accept the friend request, and we can pull you into the call, my dude. Looks like Tiff might honestly be good to go as well. So maybe I'll just try bringing her back on really quick. Okay. Tiffany plays. Got it. Okay, hopefully our mic will be working this time.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you. How's it going?
Yes, it's going great now that I'm pushing my push to talk button.
Welcome to the show. What do you want to talk about today?
I want to talk about rebranding. I recently went from Tiffany Plays to Finger Toes, and I kind of want to get y'all's perspective on like how you should do that. Should you save up everything and do it all at once and hit them with something crazy and different, or like seep it in over time and let people get used to it?
So go for just totally smack in the face transition, or be a very slow fade?
Right. Ease them into it.
Gotcha. Trui, what are your thoughts on rebranding and how long it should take, basically?
Well, I have recently switched to like doing Nintendo games. Well, I guess this start of the year, so it's just been months already now. But yeah, you would always lose people from rebranding. That's one thing. You would lose people from it. I've changed my name before, but it was Trui22 before, so not a lot of people actually went away from that. I have had different layouts on my stream. I use this like kind of neon cyberpunk theme now, and we used to have like more like a forest kind of theme. I mostly like, if you do something with graphics, I would recommend doing all the graphics at once. If you do something with a name, depending on like, if you have your graphics tied to your name, I would definitely change them at once, because then it's clear that it's your new profile. But if you don't have your graphics tied to your name, I think changing your name might be pretty huge already, and people just need to recognize you from before. So if you don't have that tied to each other, I recommend doing that a little bit later, so people still know that it's you, because otherwise people are just getting confused about like, who is this person and why am I following
Finger Toes, and why is she on my list? I feel that a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you have the same profile, then people at least see the picture and they're like, oh yeah, that picture is from, I recognize their picture, so that's the same person.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. I've seen some cool ideas for like Discord too, where people have their new name and like formerly this, or there are some ways you can kind of tie that so people like learn the transition over time. If it's a big name change, that's gonna be tough to do. Maybe making like a video or promo about it can help with that too, I think. Daisy, what are your thoughts on rebranding and how long it should take?
Time frame, not sure. It all depends on, I guess, your community. Don't make it a sudden change. I have had people do that to me, and I'm like, I don't know who you are, unfollow. And then they're like, hey, why'd you unfollow me? Well, I don't know who the heck you are. And they're like, oh, it was this. And I'm like, well, you didn't make any announcements on Twitter. You didn't talk about it in any of your streams. You just did it overnight. I would definitely suggest preparing your community for that change.
Easing them into it, basically. Yeah. Gotcha. Vel, what are your thoughts?
So Tiff, you've, obviously already changed your name on Twitch. So, I would say, if you already have the new name, which you do, I would say just get the full rebrand all at once. That way you don't have like different things that don't fit with the rest of your branding. Like say if you have alerts that like don't fit with some of the other things in your overlay, it might be a little confusing. It might look a little bit weird. So you might as well do all the rebranding all at once if you can. They already know that you have a new name, so that's, you can't really surprise people too much more than that.
Yeah.
You think?
You have a different opinion, Tiff?
Oh no, I'm just pretty confident I can still surprise people, whether Veli believes in me or not.
I don't.
Well, I think having all your stuff ready to go at the same time is a good idea, but I think you can probably like prepare your community for it, like letting them know ahead of time this rebrand will be happening on this date. Here's the transition, so that like it's not just out of the blue, but like it all does still happen at once, because you don't want to have half branding where like half your stuff says one name and half says the other. So I think just giving people enough notice, and then it's going to be a lot of reminding, a lot of re-educating, because you just can't possibly let everyone know before it happens. So that's what I would say. But you have any follow-up questions or thoughts, Tiff?
No, that was great perspectives. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for calling in. We'll see you later. All right. So we have about 20 minutes left, and we have 2 callers. So this is lots of callers today. I'm gonna go ahead and add I kill for food to the call. And very interesting name. Do you know this person or just think the name is funny?
I just think the name's funny.
It's aggressive.
I don't recognize the name, so let's see here. All right. Hello? Food? Can I call you Food? What do I call you?
Yes, that's what everybody calls me.
All right, Food. How's it going, man?
So exciting. I've been listening to your guys' podcast maybe for about 6 months. Finally got the courage to get into Discord.
Awesome, dude. Thanks for calling in.
No problem. My question is, I was thinking about getting into an alpha game, a game that's still in alpha, and I didn't know if I should do it or stick to what I know.
Interesting. So an alpha game, so it's very new, not been streamed on Twitch much. Is that kind of why you're thinking about it? Because it'll be...
Yeah, the directory's pretty thin. It's a game called Spellbreak.
Right, yeah, Spellbreak. I'm familiar with that. Very cool game. Okay, so I'll throw this to Vel first. I don't know if you've ever played like alpha games or very new games, but you have thoughts on maybe switching to a new game that's coming out to kind of capitalize on more promising directory?
Yeah, I would definitely say if it looks like a game you can play very consistently for a long time, then it might be worth, trying out every once in a while. At least like getting your foot in the door a little bit, not like 100% just switching over to that game entirely. Because if it does flop, you'll probably lose viewers that are used to you playing something. And so if you switch to this game, like I said, you're probably gonna lose some viewers. And then if the game flops on Twitch as a whole, then where are you now? So I think just kind of like doing like a day or two each week, streaming that other game, like while it's still early, I think could be really, really beneficial for you. You can learn the ins and outs of the game and, become an expert in that before anybody else does.
Definitely. Trui, what are your thoughts on this?
It's a bit of a hit or miss. It's just, it can become big, and if you were one of the first to stream it, you're gonna grow with it. But it can also just do nothing, and then you just kind of wasted time on playing it. I mean, you didn't actually waste time, but yeah.
I feel like it. Yeah.
I mean, if it was fun, you didn't waste time, right?
Right, for sure. Daisy, what are your thoughts on streaming alphas?
As far as alphas go, I'm more experienced with the betas.
Well, okay, same.
Well, okay, so before testing, I've been playing Dauntless for a year, and it just got released on consoles on Tuesday. Like, it was PC exclusive. So, like, my community recognizes that I play majority of Dauntless. So now all of these newer players are coming in, and I'm growing with the release. So, I mean, if it's something that you can, that you enjoy and that you can get your community on board with, I'd say go for it. I mean...
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I would say too, is it kind of depends on why you're doing it, because I think like it's going to be a risk one way or the other. There's no way around that, but I think taking risks can be really good sometimes. So my question would be like, how much do you enjoy the game? Are you streaming it just because you think it's a promising directory and you might be able to capitalize on that, or is it because you just legitimately love the game and there might also be a benefit to streaming it? Because if you're really passionate about the game, I would honestly say go for it if what you're doing right now has not been working or you're not satisfied with where you're at, because if you just love the game and you're going to stream the crap out of it anyway, then it's going to be really fun for you and you're not going to regret the time streaming it. Even if like viewership isn't there, if you're having a blast playing it and it doesn't work out, then I think it's still worth doing. So yeah. My question to you would be, how much do you enjoy it?
Oh no, I really enjoyed the game. I love it. I was thinking about doing what Val said, streaming it 2 days a week out of my stream schedule.
Gotcha. So keeping kind of what you're doing and then working it in a couple days during the week as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea too. You just dip your feet in, see what you think about it before you kind of like full commit to just streaming that game, if that's what you're thinking about doing. Cool, man.
I got one more question if you guys have the time.
Sure. What's up?
Yeah, I just recently became a dad, and I was wondering if you guys have any advice on how to stream with a child.
So I think the only one of us who has kids right now is Daisy. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Mine are teenagers. I do it when they sleep. even, you know, like I'm still, like, even though they're older, I work off of, you know, their schedule. I try to be as consistent as I possibly can on my own stream, and yeah, my community knows that my kids are number one priority for me. That's,
yeah,
you know, parent life.
I think that matters a lot. I mean, maybe you're like edible and kids will take care of themselves. You can stream how much you want. Personally, I would say be careful not to let the stream make you lose track of spending time with your kids and taking care of them, because I think that can happen now a lot with people who, like, especially if you're new dads or something, you see all these other streamers putting all this time in, and then you feel bad about not doing that. Don't like sacrifice your kids to do that, because I feel like you're going to regret that down the road.
Family's first for me, always.
Yeah, but I mean, there is something to be said for finding time when you can stream and working ways to do it. For sure. Vel or Trui, you guys have any thoughts on that?
Well, I think setting your boundaries is pretty important. Make your schedule, and don't think you need to do too much. If you only can stream 2 days a week, just do 2 days a week. If you can do more, do more. But if you don't sacrifice your whole life because of the stream. Make sure that you can handle it. That's the most important thing.
Gotcha. Cool.
Okay. I appreciate the advice, guys.
Yeah, man. Thanks for calling in, Food. We appreciate you. See you later.
Bye.
All right. We have one more caller who is none other than Snoop himself.
Oh, God. Here comes Mixer.
We'll be here for about half an hour, but we got Snoop coming in right now. See if he's got video too.
Uh-oh.
Wow. What's up, Snoopy?
Wow, dude.
Hi.
How's it going?
God, that's so loud in my headset. It's good.
What do
I
you
hope
wanna
you're
chat
all
about?
wonderful. So, I have a question about stupid schedules. Because schedules are dumb. But, I have a rotating schedule, and now that I'm back on midnights, it kind of limits my amount of time to stream. So, how do you guys feel about, so to give you an idea how my schedule works, I work 5 on, 2 off, 5 on, 2 off, and then 5 on, 3 off. So every third week, my schedule rotates. So how would you work that into being able to stream consistently at the same time every week, but rotating the days every 3?
So, describe to me your schedule again one more time here.
All right, it's not as complicated as it sounds. So so it's a normal schedule, 2 weeks, and then on the third week you get a third day off. So think Monday to Friday, and then it's Monday to Friday, and you're off until Tuesday. So then you would be Tuesday to Saturday, and then you'd get your third day off. So every 3 weeks it rotates 1 day forward.
Yeah, just give up. Just don't even
just quit.
There's no options for you, man. So my gut reaction would be, so every third week you get an extra day off, basically, right? Yeah. I would not even factor that into your schedule if I were you. I would just keep it consistent every week for those 2 days you have off or whatever, if that's when you're streaming, and then call it a bonus stream or whatever during that third week if you want to stream. But I feel like trying to communicate, I don't know, you can maybe do it, but it's going to be hard to establish every 3 weeks, guys, you can get an extra day of streaming with me, because it's not like a month and it's not a week.
It changes.
Yeah.
The problem is I can't consistently do it that way, because every third week there's the third scheduled day.
It shifts.
So if I'm off Saturday, Sunday, I stream Saturday, Sunday. The third week I have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then the following week I only have Sunday and Monday off. So I won't be there on Saturday.
Oh wow.
So his days off. His days off.
Move.
They
each
move.
Week.
So I would suggest doing a calendar. A monthly calendar. That way, that's pretty much, and go off of that.
I like that idea.
You have a there's a bunch of calendar websites, links, and give them a outside perspective, or a longer perspective other than week to week. Do month-long things so that they can see and. Yeah, I've had that schedule before, so.
Oh, there you go. She's lived it. I think you can do that. It's a good idea, actually. I didn't realize it was the shifting. Another thing you could do is create events on Twitch for each stream, and then below in your extensions, you can have it read off the events and count down to the next one, and people can see all your events at a glance. So it's basically a calendar, but it also gives you that stream countdown below your stream, so people will know, like, okay, next stream will be in 2 days. Next stream is in 4 days.
But you can't see them on a lot of those extensions. You can't see on mobile.
Right, but I mean, what can you do?
So you have to have a backup.
Yeah, for sure. Calendar could be good. It's just a matter of finding how to like make it look good for Twitter and Discord and however else you're doing it. For sure. Trui, you have any thoughts on this?
I think just letting them know beforehand, just a lot of time beforehand, and on a lot of different platforms, tweet it out, put it on your Discord, on your Twitch, will help a lot to just get them to plan it in their own agenda, because they also have a life and they need to know like when are you live, and if they know that beforehand, they can also like schedule their life already. Like maybe I will meet a friend tomorrow instead of today because I'm gonna watch Snoop Dogg,
Right.
True, you're my favorite.
Vel, you have any other thoughts to add here?
Well, aside from giving up, I think it's I mean, it's so difficult dealing with the schedule like that. Like I would not want to be in your shoes at all. I would say the only other advice that I could try to give is, pick a couple days out of a week where like you have 2 hours, whether you work that night or not. You know what I mean? Like just pick those days to stream consistently. Like that's what I did when I worked at a full-time job last year. Is I knew I could stream just a couple hours every day, so that's what I did. That's the only advice that I can give that nobody else did, I guess.
Thanks,
there's no easy answer. I think over communicating is good, and like Daisy said, a calendar might be cool. There might be like a cool extension out there, or maybe a bot or something that could help with Discord, or you never know. That'd be a cool feature to look into.
Or trying another job.
Trust me, there's days.
You try getting good. That one would work.
Did you ever think about that?
Safety jobs always fun. What, getting good? Vel, listen. Not everybody can just stream and be amazing all the time. I understand your jealousy. I get it. I'm sorry.
Go on.
Do you see this?
There's not even coffee in here anymore.
Charity stream. Look at me.
I'm just sipping for dramatic effect right now. All right, cool, man. Well, anything else to add?
No. Donate money. Do it.
Support Stack
Do it
Up
right now.
Support
Look at my
the
hat.
troops.
Do it for America. Cool, man. Thanks for
freedom.
calling in. We will. You'll be
All right,
streaming
thank you.
some point this weekend, right?
Midnight.
Tonight?
Eastern. Tonight.
There you go, guys. Go watch him tonight at midnight. He'll be here, this channel.
Bye, everybody.
We'll see you good. See you later.
What is up?
Snoop. All right, good stuff. So it is 12:55, so we're going to go ahead and start wrapping up the show because the next shift is starting in about 5 minutes. Real quick, I want to thank Duff and Void the Area for resubbing, guys. Thank you for the support, for helping us keep doing giveaways and things like that, shows like this. Real quick, let's kind of sign off and go around. First of all, I'll throw this to Daisy. Anything you want to say before we sign off? Anything to mention about Stack Up in general?
If you have any questions about Stack Up, feel free to reach out to me, PerkyDaisy23. Go to the website. Lots of amazing information there. And I'm going to be around this page for the 80-hour stream as much as I possibly can. So just tag me if you have any questions. I'll be around and reading as much as I possibly can.
Awesome stuff. She'll be around, guys. So make sure you check her out, her personal channel too, because she does stream herself. Trui, anything you want to say before we sign off here? People can find you, any of that stuff.
Well, they can always find me on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, and of course Twitch. It's most of the time Trui, otherwise it's Trui on Twitch because my name was taken already.
It's a good name.
And thank you. For everybody who's new here and who hasn't joined the Discord, make sure to do it because you can learn from each other, guys.
Absolutely. I'll link that in the chat really quick, and her channel's in the chat as well if you guys want to check her out. Very cool stuff. Last but not least, Veli, thanks for coming on once again, dude. where people
Thanks for
find
having
you.
me.
What should they know?
VELOKK_TV on all the things. And yeah, definitely, like Snoop said, donate money. These guys do really great things for the veteran community. And I mean, veterans need all the help that they can get with all the rough things that they're going through currently. So really, really appreciate the Stack Up crew. And yeah, donate money. And donate money.
Donate money. Theme of the show today, guys. Well, thank you for coming out and watching, guys. This has been Stream Key. Again, we do this every single week on the TRUgaming channel. If you want to come back out, ask more questions, have some more fun conversations about Demon Spawn and whatever else comes up. We'll see you guys next week, and please stay tuned for the next 2 minutes. We'll have, I think, MPI is coming on next, I believe, on the segment. So he'll be streaming for a couple hours, and please keep supporting this event all weekend. Even if you just lurk and hang out, it really helps raise visibility and more people find Stack Up on Twitch. So thank you guys for coming out. We'll see you soon. Have a good one.